Hello, YouTube. ZiggyNo back with Sports Cards Daily, special edition NBA Top Shot. What people aren't talking about. This video is not going to be talking about which cards you should buy or which moments you should buy or which ones you should sell or how to get a pack or why Series 1 is better than Series 2 or any of that. This is really kind of a deep dive looking into NBA Top Shot. We're going to cover Gary Vee's perspective. We're going to cover an article from Sports Illustrated. We're going to take a look at some recent tweets. I'm going to show you some information from some tools that are out there, evaluate.market and momentranks.com. Also going to show you a little bit about flow and introduce you an opportunity to maybe start doing some development around blockchain and start doing some brainstorming of ways you might be able to tap in to this NBA Top Shot opportunity. And let me just say, it's not just NBA Top Shot. They're the pioneer, I guess, to the market, but you have to think that soccer, global soccer, would be exciting when you think about World Cup. I'm also thinking baseball, football will also be very popular, but this is just the beginning. Let's listen to Gary Vee first, and I'll make a few comments as we proceed.
Top Shot. NBA Top Shot is overrated in the individual NFTs, like the individual cards, and it's underrated as a project. It's insane what Roham and that team did to launch that product. Flow, the consumability, the gamification, just an underrated execution.
I agree. I absolutely agree with this. And I think this is an interesting thing. Gary Vee's been very vocal about warning on the overvalue of Top Shot. And I am going to look at that. When I look at some of these moments, I still don't understand why they would go for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I am even shocked by the fact they can hold value at dollars, but dollars make sense to me. And I do think the collectors really intended that this would be something that's probably going to be, like I think when they were brainstorming this, they thought that maybe the top would be a couple hundred, maybe $1,000 moment. I don't think they were thinking it would be as big as this. So I think maybe that's a little bit the inflation. But what you're going to learn about this is a little bit about flow. I think it's very interesting. And also the way they did this gamification, where they really did set this up and they plan to build games around the moments you own, right? So I think that's going to drive some of the collectability. What's also driving this is you have a very, very challenged, limited market, right? There's only so many people in this, and the market of interest to get in this is even bigger. There's probably a few million people who would probably actively participate just based on the NBA activity right now. I'm thinking easily a few million. And right now I think there's a couple 100,000 that are participating. So that's also driving up a lot of demand in this product.
One of the things we'll look back on is one of the early things, kind of like a Yahoo or Ask Jeeves or Google or YouTube, like Epic. Overrated are the individual Top Shots because it's like cards. There's too much supply, demand issues coming as the NFL, MLB, UFC, boxing, Muhammad Ali, Pele, like everything in the world is going to be NFT'd. So right now, a lot of the energy of sports and NFT go to this one project.
Again, I absolutely agree. And he mentions the Ask Jeeves and stuff like that. I think that search engine piece is really what we're going to look at here with blockchain and flow and some of the interesting capabilities of digital ownership, right? I think somebody in this article talks about, you can print off a copy of the Mona Lisa and put it on your wall and see you've got a picture of the Mona Lisa, but you have no ownership. But if you had a digital copy of art where you were the only owner or one of few owners, then that's a little different. And I guess it's a lot different. So let's go in a few things. Next, I'm going to spend some time and bring your attention to an article here by Sports Illustrated. I have some notes as I go through this. I'm going to try to highlight some things here that are of interest. I do recommend you read this. I'll just be honest, it's a long article, and I know most of you won't. That's why you listen to the video. But it talks about a gentleman, a father, how he got involved in this, how much money he's making on it. He's just blown away, right? He got in early. I think he got in maybe January, I think. Anyway, he gets in. He's part of the story. I think that's very interesting. He talks a little bit about some of the early moments that were on there. Where's the first comparison? Oh, there's an example here about Mitchell's going for originally $70. Here it is. Donovan Vin Mitchell was originally a free for early users. We're being traded for $70, right? And these Jeremy Grants are $3 to $4 a piece. Now that Mitchell is $1,000, roughly, right? And those other ones are about $100. That's like incredible growth in value. Now I can also think about it's also the limitation, right? There's only so many out there. What's important to bring out, I think that someone mentions here later on, right? Here's some interesting things, right? There's no counterfeits. There's no forgeries. That's non-existent in this world. You don't have to worry about shipping this, right? The transfer is automatic. There's no packing, no lost in the mail, no authentication necessary. These have been authenticated by the creator because they're crypto tokens with the blockchain, which means there's no grading. You don't have to get a grading. All of them have equal quality, right? The only differentiation would be in serial numbers, and there are certain ones that would have more value, right? This goes a little bit more, talks a little bit about some other examples, and I thought this was interesting. There was an MLB blockchain launch, and there's this hash rate. So if I look at these, I'm trying to think if this is the Mlb Bobble Heads have sold for thousands of dollars. This is back in October 15th, 2019. So what is that, about a year and a half now? My question is, anybody know about this? And what are the value of these today? Did this Kershaw bobblehead go up? I know you're thinking, Ziggy, could you check that out for us? I haven't. Let's see. Bought on secondary market. We can click on that link and see what's going to come back for us. But while we're waiting for that, that's a good example. Could NBA Top Shot just be another one of these things, a flash in the pan, that 2 years from now we're talking about something else, right? And I think that's one of the concerns. Hashlates is another one. I never even heard of this, right? This is something licensed NFL Players Association tokens. They've got 12 tweets, and they've got 37 following and 202 followers. That's not a very good rollout. And that's the NFL Hashlates there, okay? CryptoSlam accounts. Talks a little bit about some of the revenue. And again, the big things is that basically Dapper, just after what's happened in the last 30 days, they got $250 million in funding, right? Round of funding. And they have a $2 billion valuation. So that is amazing. And then you heard they announced UFC and WNBA are on the list. I got to assume that NFL and stuff will be launching in the fall, and you'll see a lot more, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Olympics or maybe soccer or something like that comes too, right? And I'm also wondering, who else is running to do this? Is Panini trying to do this? Are they trying to license? Or is this like just a Dapper thing? Is Dapper got the corner on the market here, right? Are they the only ones who can do this? Here's an interesting thing that came up that I wanted to show you guys. There's a reference in here to steady breaks. Now, where is the steady breaks? I can't find it. I'm just gonna right here. Steady breaks. Apparently, it's a Dapper regular. Some guy has a relationship with Dapper. I don't think he's a Dapper employee, and I wish I could find. Let me see if I can find that reference to him here. Steady breaks. Steady Breaks, co-founded by a longtime Dapper aficionado who goes by Steady. Now, this to me seems interesting. And interesting, I'm going to say, maybe a little shady. He apparently has a site that does its own breaking of these packs. Team distribution, pick or pass, random roster, or the different types of breaks. Here's an events calendar, which right now, it looked like there's nothing on the events calendar. It looked like the last one was on the 9th, pick pass. Here's event registration. And check this out, man. Look at the prices on that. Ooh. And that's not for a full pack. That's for like a spot in here, right? I mean, that's not like this is hardcore gambling. And again, NBA the Dapper guys must be okay with that, right? Another thing I wanted to bring attention to, this message in the article. Oops, wrong link. Is some of the NBA athletes who are behind this. Like, for example, we got Terrence Ross, right? How do I get some packs? And I believe he gets the response back. Here's NBA or Top Shot, DM us. Man, I wish I could do that because I'd like for them to give me a pack. Can you get me a pack? And then over here, Terry Rozier, I think I mentioned this earlier, does the offer. I think you'll see more of this. I think this is actually genius. That was back, almost a month ago. I'm sure someone took him up on that. What's really interesting, if I go back to the article, after the Kendrick Perkins part, there's a little reference here to the NBA. Here's the NBA players. Here's, the enthusiasm. Here's just a little snapshot. Based on the market, right, the sales of $47 million, the high water mark to date, would generate the NBA $17 billion in transactions over 1 year. Just let that number settle in there. Whether you like these tokens or not, $17 billion in transactions over a year. That's $850 million would be 5% of that. That could have an impact on the NBA, right? That's not, that's like advertising money. That's big. That's like a, move. That's a network money. Okay. Next thing I want to bring your attention to, there's a lot of details in here about some of the potential for criminal activity with cryptocurrency slash NFTs. I'm not going to read this to you. I want to highlight this, right? And the reason I bring this up is that one of the complaints here is that only 17,000 of the 270,000, Top Shot users could withdraw money. Okay, that's stunning. Now I don't understand this, but it goes into how when they set the system up, they use a clearinghouse, and Dapper says they have to go through a withdrawal process, which goes back to this know your customer guidelines. Now, one thing I think is interesting, Dapper isn't subject to federal guidelines of the Bank Secrecy Act, which requires, among things, know your identity checks. But they are using this. Now, is this good or bad? I don't know. I think it could be good. It could also be a delay tactic, right? I mean, having that much money sitting around somebody's account, someone's making some money off that interest, right? But I do think it's important. If you got this far, read into this, learn about the potential crypto scams or whatever that's going on here. I think that's very, very, very important. Now, let's get into showing you some examples of this. I think I went through all this with you. Let me go ahead and jump over here. Here I'm over at the marketplace. And well, so if you don't have an account, I do think it's kind of cool to go get one if you can, maybe pick up a moment or two. There are affordable moments. And what I've noticed is that I'm looking at the lowest ascending moments as of the recording of this. And $12 seems to be the low. I've seen them as low as 8 or 9 when I first got in. So it looks like 12 is now the new low. And there's some of these guys I'm thinking to myself, I wouldn't want these guys, right? I just want them, I'm thinking, why would I want any of these guys? I don't know. So looking, none that I like. They're loading more moments. As I'm looking at this, you can sort in a bunch of different ways. What I want to bring your attention to is I did find on here a while back a moment that did get my attention, and that was Deandre Jordan. Actually, that Hatchet Moore is not bad. Deandre Jordan. Now, that's not a rookie moment. Where is Deandre Jordan? Okay. Over here. Deandre Jordan is going for $13. And I was like, that's not bad. And the reason I thought that is because I do think the Nets are going to go to the championship and you're going to have him playing. So I'm thinking, hey, that'd be a good investment for $13. And I also thought to myself, is this thing actually sold for $2,600? So one thing I looked for, and you can do this yourself, is look at what the lowest ask is and what the top sale is. And you'll see there's these huge discrepancies, which to me is a concern. Okay, I'll say that. And this is also one of the things I love about the blockchain. Everything's public. So as we scroll down here, gives you information, tells you about it, when it was done. There's 35,000 plus. It's kind of like, hey, this is a common card, right? Here's what I find interesting. The recent top sales, and these are recent. This is the 17th, the 19th, and the 9th. Why did someone pay that much for these cards, these moments? Right? Why would they do that? Okay? A few things, and we're going to look at Monroe in a minute. When I come down here, you'll see right now on March 20th, they're selling for roughly 12, 13, 12, 13, 15, 12, 13, 15, 12, 13. Now look at this. $333. Why did someone pay this much? And again, here's a serial number. It's not like this is the number 1 or the number 2 or the jersey number. Why did that happen? Right? So a few things I like. Okay, you get these little, I don't know what this TX stands for. When you click on this, boom, you get this little flow thing. Now we're going to get to flow in a minute. I like this, and the geeks out there are going to really like this. You can see the script, and you can see the events. Gas price, gas limit. I think you guys are going to, if you're geeks, you're going to pick that up. But anyway, I thought that's pretty cool. We're going to come back to it in a minute. I went over here to this tool, though, and looked up Monroe. And I'll tell you why I like the evaluate market is that when you type in someone's name, it pre-populates it. So Monroe, and it shows me all the Monroe guys that are out there. And there's Monroe, and I'll pick him, right? And sure enough, he does own the Deandre Jordan that he bought for $2,600, and now it's selling for $14. You also see he's bought a lot of stuff that's down. Now you got a hero and a pack or gift. Now that's interesting to me because if you ever see this, a gift, that means somebody sent them one moment. Now a hero, I'm going to bet that was a buy. Somebody bought that privately and it was sent over to him. Right? Now can we look at that? It's a common card. This is a limited. The ask on this is 17. I got to look at that card later. Anyway, just looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, again, why did he pay that much for that card when the card was going for so much lower? He seems to be losing a lot of money. Just a lot of fishiness in this account, right? Over here, just again, Moment Tracks. What I like about Moment Tracks is they keep track of the market cap. I will say the market cap's been going down as I've been watching. I think I talked about it a day or two ago at 1.65. It's now at 1.638. I'm going to try to maybe start tracking that a little more. This keeps track of total sales per day. And still, this has been pretty high. This is look at this, 5 million. I just refreshed that. 5 million in sales today. Discord's very, very big in this. Let me just go ahead and spend a little second here on the flow. Here's an example of those flow filters again. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a flow expert, but I did some research and I got enough to go over to flow, and you can, what is about flow, flow builders, flow partners, and there's some pretty cool information here. Getting started, okay, SDKs, software developer toolkits. The cool thing here is basically you can make a lot of these applications you're seeing here, right, are done using Flow by doing these queries against the blockchain, against the, I think it's what, against the blockchain, or against this cryptocurrency, which I think is very, very interesting because, again, if you start looking at things like this, right, you should be able to create warnings, alerts, look for these market trends. Where am I going? I can't find my market trends where, okay, why'd you have this? Why 30? Why 333? And then right after that, yeah, I would sell too. Right? You can do a lot of interesting. What am I looking at? Analytics around this. Sports card analytics. You listening? You've got to be geeking out on this stuff, man. I'm geeking out on it, and I'm not even a geek on this stuff. I just think it's really, really cool. Again, with this and what they're offering, I'm gonna do some reading. I'd love to get my kids to get involved. There's some good. I'll be honest. I haven't watched the video yet. But it talks about this. It gives you great insight in this. I think this, to me, is where, if you're a geek, spend some time. Token distribution, token economics, technical white papers, open world summit. God, just geek on this, man. This is what, again, is the plumbing. Because whether it's NBA Top Shot, or it's NFL Shot Pop, or if it's, FIFA Freaking Shot, who cares? NFTs are going to have some global impact and global value, even if the fact that there's black market functionality, which means the black market, kind of like the Silk Road, will keep this going. So I hate to say that. I'm not meaning it in the wrong way, but my point is there's enough interest in this to keep this having survivability. I don't recommend being a Monroe and going out and buying, moments. What was this? Moments at Monroe. I don't recommend that. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at this Jared Culver here real quickly while we got a second here. My question there is, do they have any more of that ask? I mean, because it's a limited edition, and Culver, he has killed me in my Star Stock Challenge. Have you guys been following me on that? What's going on? Come on. Really? Is this a limited edition? I kind of like that. I kind of like it. I like it. Damn you, Top Shot. I have to look at this. I have to look at Culver and see, So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stop the video. I'm not going to make any transactions right now, but I do hope this does get your interest. Again, listen to the Gary Vee video. Definitely take a look at this article. Read this. It's really interesting. And then again, if you geek out, go check out Flow. Hope you enjoyed this opportunity to check in, subscribe. Again, coming out some more great detailed videos in the future.